Hello friends, and welcome to the vlog. As part of my goal of visiting as many independent bookstores in Calgary as possible, today we find ourselves in Ferris Fair Books in Calgary. It is a secondhand bookstore which added to the whimsy and the nostalgia of this place. I guess that's why it reminded me of my childhood library. I loved going to that place. Ironically enough though, I did not like to read. I just liked spending my time at the library. Getting lost in the alleys and picking up books just purely because of the cover. That was kind of how I spent my downtime at the library. So about a year ago, when I moved to this town, I had driven past this bookstore, but I didn't have the opportunity to go back then. But like any other smart girly does, I made a pin on my Google Maps and I made a promise to myself that I would go back to this place. And with the help of a friend, I surely was able to go, and I'm so proud of myself. I don't know if that sounds a little weird. It's just Calgary is not a walkable city, so going to certain places takes a bit more effort. And I'm just happy that didn't hold me back. I guess some things never change, because to this day, one of my comfort activities to do is to just go out by myself and go bookstore hopping. Except this time around, I was able to go with a friend. What is usually an activity that I like to do with myself, because in my head that is my safe space, I was able to share it with somebody, and they were on my level, and I kid you not, we laughed so much at some of the most random books that we found, and it just made the experience 1,000 times better. An experience that was already gonna be so much fun.
Hello guys, we are back at home. A couple days have passed since I went to the bookstore, but I wanted to show you a haul from the secondhand bookstore. Also, in those past couple of days, I've caught a cold. I'm now just really sniffly and I sound a little nasal, but other than that, I'm doing fine. I just took a couple days off. But I did want to show you what I have bought, and I was walking around with a couple of books in my hand, but I figured, you know what? In this economy, in my situation, I can't just go out and buy infinite books. It was still very difficult to make my decision on which books I want to buy, but we had great success. They're actually not fictional books. What category is this? I'll just show you. First book here is a small little design book. It shows me book cover designs from East Asia. It's just using all of these wonderful compositions and colors, these illustrations as well. It is just so vastly different from what we see in the West here. Years ago, when I used to go to Iran quite often, we would go every summer. My parents, specifically my mom, she loved going into bookstores, so I know roughly what Iranian books look like. Just like some of the Eastern Asian languages, we're dealing with a completely different alphabet here, and that impacts what the book cover looks like. And I just think that's so intriguing, so hence why I picked up this little nifty little book. Second and last book, I know you can't really call this a haul, but I am so excited about it. I bought a language learning book. So this is a language learning book from the 1980s. And in my mind, I'm like, how much could have changed since the 1980s? I got it for a pretty good deal, and what I liked about it in particular is that it's writing the romanization as well as the English, and then also explaining the way it's written in actual Japanese alphabet. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think I bought that book because I have been reading Babel. I know, for once I'm not holding up my Kindle, but I've been reading Babel, which was so kindly lent to me by my friend Hazal. And for some of you that may have read the book, you know that this book is very much about linguistics. It's about academia, dark academia, if you will. It's about all these kids that can speak multiple languages, and I speak multiple languages. But yeah, I figured, what's the harm in learning more? Hence why I picked up Japanese, and like a couple years ago, I picked up Spanish. But unfortunately, due to lack of practice, I kind of forgot some of the things. Like, I guess I written on my vision board that I want to learn how to write and read Farsi. I have a bit of a head start on that already because when I was younger, I went to a school for Farsi every Saturday. So I know how to read, and then by the time we got to the writing part, the school closed down. I feel like if I practice, I'll be able to pick up Farsi, but then I need to practice, obviously. Anyway, Japanese. I'm excited about it. It was a cheap book. I feel like if I were to do this leisurely, I wouldn't feel as bad. It's not that serious yet. I'm just, manifesting a trip to Japan. These are the books that I bought. And yeah, just showing you, I've been reading Babel. A little bit of a background story on that. Last year, I started reading it. Was it last year? Oh my days. No. I picked up Babel, tried reading it almost 2 years ago now. Must have been a year and a bit because I remember reading it when I had just moved here. And I put it back down. I couldn't keep reading it. I just couldn't get myself to it. Like, as you can see, it is a chunky book. I like to read on the way to places, like while I'm doing stuff, and this chunky book just isn't it. So at some point, I think it falls into the category of DNF, but I knew I was going to pick it up again when I felt like it, when I felt right. And now it feels right because I'm like, I think I'm about 100 pages in and it's day 3 of reading it and it's picking up. I got through book 1 and I was like, what am I reading? It's more instruction based. Like, it's as if you're reading some sort of manual. Not really a manual, but it's a very descriptive book. It's a lot of world building, very descriptive. For me, as somebody whose first language isn't English, there are some words used that I had to look up, and that got me out of the story so much that I just couldn't grab my attention. But now I'm at a pace where I'm like, okay, this is getting good. That is Babel. That is my little haul that I'm very happy with. Later, in about, I want to say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm going to head out. I was tastefully targeted on Instagram on a bazaar that's happening today. It's happening over the weekend. It's like a Persian bazaar because we're about to head into the spring and the Persian New Year is on its way and I'm so excited about it. The spring is upon us, my dudes, and I'm going to go to a bazaar with some friends to get into the mood for the new year. That's it for the catch up, and I'll see you later.